Hello, Neil here, and today I'm answering questions. Today's question is, what's cloud hosting and what is AWS? And what's the difference? Let's start with what's cloud hosting. To first answer that question, we need to define what cloud is. In the simplest form of the word, cloud is a big fluffy thing in the sky, but we're not talking about those today. We're talking about the server infrastructure stuff. Essentially, it means you're renting a server that's attached to the internet, and it's not yours. Therefore, it's in the cloud. That covers a lot of things though, like virtual private servers. Virtual private server is something you might rent on a monthly basis from a provider, but it's all very manual in its setup. What I mean by that is that you go into their shopping cart, clicky, get a server, give it a name, click go, pay your money, and then you've got it for a month until the renew comes through and you pay it for another month. That is technically cloud hosting. Same can also be said for shared hosting models. If you're using WP Engine to host your blogging website, that's also shared hosting, it's also rented, and it's also on a server you don't own, therefore it is the cloud. What I think a lot of people mean though when they talk about cloud hosting is they're referring to infrastructure as code. This is where we can create an account with somebody like Amazon or Google or Azure or DigitalOcean, and we can run a piece of code on our machine that then manipulates resources within that account. We don't have to go through the console clicky, we don't have to type our credit card details in every time, that kind of thing. We run the infrastructure as code, that tells their infrastructure systems to set us up with some resources, and then we get a bill later. Another highlight of the cloud flexibility in this way, when running infrastructure as code, is we're under no obligation to run it for an entire month. We can stop the resources midway through and get billed on something like per hour or per minute. This cloud flexibility is what brings people to the cloud. So it's not just AWS that has those features, which is the second part of the question. AWS is a cloud infrastructure as code provider, infrastructure as a service. Along with their competitors at DigitalOcean and Azure and Google, you can exactly use infrastructure as code, or you can use the console, create resources on a rental basis, but not necessarily a month at a time. These resources can be brought into existence for as little as a minute. AWS is the leader in doing this. After all, they're a subsidiary of Amazon, the biggest online retailer there is. And this stuff is what keeps all of their Amazon shops working. Through the Christmas and Black Friday, all the way to when it's quieter in the mists of August. AWS then take this one step further. Rather than just providing you with a virtual machine and a load balancer, they also give you managed services, like a managed database, managed load balancers, and then services on top of that, like a containerized service, where you don't even have to manage the servers underneath to run containers, and then to extract that another level, so you've got the functions, like AWS Lambda, where you just upload your code and tell it what container you want it to run in. In this way, you're just renting the compute power, not even renting a server anymore. And whilst I'm using AWS as an example, Google and Azure and DigitalOcean all offer the same level of services. Which one you go with is up to you. Let me know in the comments which one you would choose, and I'll see you in the next video.